What we're looking at here is we're going to be looking at knife threat, close range, and the knife is touching the neck. Two positions this can be on. Obviously using the knife with the blade, and they've put it to your neck. Very common position for dominance and control is to put this to a vulnerable point for the attacker. So I'll put it towards your neck here, because again, if any type of struggle, they can just cut, and your carotid artery is going to be easily cut here. Very dangerous threat here. Now they can have this knife in their hand, and they can put it to the live side, which you can see here. Most of our limbs is on the edge of the neck. This is the live side, or knife, same side arm as the neck. Or they could put this into the closed side, where the knife comes across, or the opposite side of the body. So you can see my arm comes across, it's on the opposite side of the neck to my arm, and this one's the dead side here. Now we're going to be looking at it without any other complications first, but then this is very common where they're grabbing here, but it doesn't change the technique whatsoever. Like so. What we're going to be looking at first is we'll look at live side here. Now once again, more than likely they're going to be pressing this into your neck, and you're probably going to want to be here showing compliance here, and you're probably going to be stressed and freaked out as well. So you're going to naturally get your hands up here, and you want to be showing compliance with body language, tone, voice here. Now what's happening is here is I now need to get rid of this knife. We do have fast retreat solutions, which I'll just quickly show you now. From basically here, with a quick retreat solution, I can then redirect this kick and then move away. But we're going to be looking at control, because typically if the knife is close enough here and pressing, by me doing any type of movements, I'm still too close for this knife to come back here. So it gets a little bit dangerous doing some of these fast retreat actions. I can even start to do this and then move this hand up here as I move for my fast retreat in. And because I'm assuming once I start to get here, I'm going to get cut, and this is why I'm going to protect this side of my neck here. But again, this is all dangerous stuff because too close, too fast. So what happens is here, we're going to get control. And look, if you're in close confines, you haven't got much room to move, you're probably going to have to control anyway. So we're going to do for control, and we're going to do destroy takedowns here. Now from here, your knife is at your throat like so. The solution we'll be doing for this one here is so. And slowly what I was doing here, with this knife touching here, I'm gonna have to move this knife off my throat, or the side of my neck technically. Now from here, I need to move the knife that way, because moving the knife this way finishes the technique really quickly. So from here, I need to move the knife off. The way I need to do that is with this hand here, I'm going to make a hook, and a hook I'm going to go high on her wrist. Now with this hook high on the wrist, I actually want to pluck this knife off my neck. I'll have a head defense, slight head defense with my neck pulling away from the blade. And then with this elbow, it's going to be a pluck that goes out and then down. And so my elbow is then tight to my ribs here. And with this hand, with this pluck, I want to be hooking, and I want to be holding this nice and tight, pulling in here. Now, because I know I'm going to execute this technique, when you have done your hands up for your compliance, I'm going to stagger my hands, because then the second one, I actually want to cut downwards into an elbow fold or elbow pit here, and then I want to pull down and back in. And so both actually, my elbows want to tuck nice and tight into my ribs, into my body, nice and tight here. And because I know this one's going to come here, this is why I can stagger my hands. So this entry is closer, this entry is closer. She has no idea that I'm going to do this technique. I'm just here hiding it with my compliance. From here, I've got my hooking here, and pretty much almost same time, or a very quick shattered rhythm, is as I start to pluck here, this one hits down. I don't just want to hit across, this one will hit down, helps to get some bend, then I will pull across. And you can see here, by pulling this way on the wrist and this way on the elbow, it does that to her arm. This puts her shoulder and arm in a very weak position for any recoiling, and she's not in a comfortable position at all. Now from here, I don't want to just wrestle, so I need to do my strikes as early as I can, as per usual. So from here, like so, as soon as I start to remove this knife and start to get control, I have now kicked to their groin. Whether you hit with your knee, shin or foot, it's just a matter of distance here. But as soon as I've done this one, bum bum, I will then hit to the groin. As soon as you hit to the groin, what happens, I put that foot down and then I drive. I drive my foot forward. If I turn the attacker here, I want this foot to be off the line of the attacker and as deep as I can. This position we utilize everywhere. Now from here, I need my two elbows tucked in nice and tight, and I want her forearm to be vertical. I want her forearm to be glued to my chest and to my torso, because the more vertical this arm is, the harder it is for her to pull it away. Problems here that can occur is if I do this and I don't have my body smothering this arm, you can see her arm's a little bit almost horizontal here. It's easy for her to pull down and away for this knife to get out. So for me to help stifle any recoiling here, obviously I've done the strike here. Here, I want to keep the arm vertical, nice and tight, because one, I get a much stronger control, and two, I can actually press with my chest into the back of her hand as well, here, and I can press. Because what's happening is by pressing her hand and forearm that way, you can see her arm gets weaker and weaker in that position, and also she's in a pretty compromised position. And in fact, with strikes and continued pressure with my chest and body and continued movement, with this foot forward and deep, to kill any recoil and also to make any of her strikes on me a little bit less effective because it's all the way across her body. I'm in a good striking position, she isn't. From here, I can just keep pressing with my chest and shoulder, and from here you can actually go into a very easy takedown. Clearly I would do this with strikes first, and then from here I just keep stepping this foot deep, and then I keep pressing with my chest, and this puts her hand past her shoulder. You can see here, just with me touching in this position, you can see it starts to move them back. So with a nice strong grip here and with attacks, if they haven't gone down yet with strikes, I can easily start to press them back here. Now at this position here, I have got positions where she goes down and I come into now controlling here, and then I've got disarms. But for us at this point here, we're just going to be doing our attacks, getting deep. We can do the quick takedown, you can throw the knife, you can attack if you need to, and we're going to be moving away as the basics here. On the dead side here. So the attacker is now with the knife, it's across here. We're going to have the same setup with compliance, and I need the very similar principles applied here. So basically from this position here, I'm going to attack, 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 and I can do similar motions there. And slowly, what's happening is it's here. I again need to move the knife now that way, and not this way. So from here, this hand's going to be a bit closer, and this hand's going to be a bit closer to the elbow. Here, if I just turn you a bit. From here, making the same hook again. From here, I am going to hook, slight body defense away from the neck, this elbow plucking up and down, and I'm hooking very tightly. But at the same, almost the same time, here, I hit down on this elbow pit and pull backwards nice and tight. This bit's important because the bigger and stronger their arm, and maybe the more straighter, the more you're going to have to hit down with a lot more force and step into it as early as you can as well. Because this can get a little bit difficult, especially on the dead side or opposite side. They're a little bit stronger, and my control isn't as great inherently as it was on this side. Because on this side here, I get this leverage action on the hand and shoulder, but this one I don't get that anymore. Her hand's a little bit more up in front here, so I don't get that natural leverage on her shoulder, but it's still a pretty good control because everything stays the same pretty well after that. As I'm here, I've done my strike early, I've got my elbows connected, her arm is connected to my body, nice and vertical. I'm getting this foot outside the line as early as I can. I'm holding this tight. I'm doing my strikes. If she starts to go down forward, from here I can just, typically I will transition this into a C grip here. So from here, transition to C grip so I can get rid of it properly, like so. Also, with the dead side, I can still take her backwards. If I'm doing my strikes here, what I can do, foot nice and deep still here with my strikes. Then from here, I'm going to press with my chest, pressing her hand past her shoulder here. And then from here, I can take her down, and then I can get rid of this and then move away. And one additional thing here we'll add to it, doesn't change too much of the technique at all, but it's just a common positional attack of the attacker, where the knife thread here, and now they're controlling with the opposite hand, typically to your shirt, holding here. And again, they can hold like this, and they can also hold like that with the knife on that side. It doesn't really matter. It's usually something like this. Not much is changing. We just need to make sure we're orientating our attack around that arm. So for example, if she's grabbing here, my attack, because this arm is holding here, I'm going to pull my hand in the middle. Then from here, I can actually do everything the same. This hand is not going to be too much more consequence once I've got control and I'm attacking nice and strong here. And if she's doing the same attack, and she's grabbing the knife on this side, I'm going to make sure I pull this hand into the middle here. And from here, I can do the same technique. Again, it doesn't really change. If she was grabbing here and puts the knife to my throat, doesn't matter which one here, and you need to go as early as you can, you just got to make sure you pull your hand in and then go with your attack. You just got to go around this thing. But typically, you'll be caught out, you'll be stressed, you'll be showing compliance. Just got to make sure you pull your hand to the inside of this arm. Nothing much else changes really from here.